What's up, North County? Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we have John Couch, president of Estrella Warbirds Museum, with us today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's good to be
yeah.
here.
So, Estrella Warbirds Museum. So, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we're just now celebrating our 30th anniversary, and
Wow.
it was started with a couple guys that just wanted to be able to preserve some aircraft that they were developing or that they were acquiring, and it's grown into about 10 acres worth or more of aircraft and all sorts of artifacts in the buildings. And we also have the woodland auto display that's part of the museum now, and they have a world-class car display, and it's a real active museum. It's reaching out to a lot of people, and we do our best to be able to preserve the especially the aircraft and all these artifacts, just in a way to honor those who served and those who worked on aircraft and flew them.
And it's really a local gym that, a lot of people they might know about it, but they don't know about it. Place. Like I said, I've, was exposed. I'm born and raised here. And the first time that I went to it was back when my kids were, I think they were 10-ish, something like that. My in-laws, which were in the Slovettes, and they would do their car show at Wings and
Oh, right.
Wheels. And so they would go out there. So we went out there to check it out. And I was absolutely floored at this presentation of the planes and vehicles and just the whole layout that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah, it's really, and not only is it just grown, but they've also done a lot of organizing that just displays things in the right genre and the right era, and also it just makes a lot more sense as you walk around. It just the whole it just flows better. And we have a curator that deals with all the artifacts, and we have a chief operating officer who's just brought a real business sense to a lot of things, and is really good at being able to organize things. Our museum coordinator is just right on the money, with what his ideas of promoting different events. And we have the hall rentals, so we can rent out the hangar, we can rent out our meeting hall. So we're trying to reach out a lot, and we have a lot of special events just to get people out there so that they can and see what's going on. And I think they're pretty impressed when they see it.
I would say impressed is an understatement, because it's more than just a visual. I mean, you can go inside these vehicles,
Right.
That's out there on the land, out there on the property. You can get up there in those, planes, and you can get up there in those tanks and walk through them and check them out and kind of really envision like this part of history, and this actually being a functioning, working, unit,
Right.
in a whole different, landscape,
Sure.
so to speak. But you're able to get up there, and it's not like, oh, just stay behind the red, the red line, but and view from a distance. I mean, you can get up there and feel them and check them out and
Sure.
do the whole 9 yards.
And we even have a legitimate flight simulator. It's a F-18 flight simulator that's we can
Oh,
we have
really?
somebody that operates all the controls, but you can get inside that and actually see what it's like to go through a flight on a legitimate military simulator. So that's a pretty impressive deal too.
No kidding.
So, yeah, so there's a lot of access to it, and we have videos going all the time. We have docents that'll kind of fill in the gaps when you're looking at things. So there's a lot to see.
Didn't you guys get donated also some sort of like amusement, like
Right.
ride of some sort?
Yeah, that was connected to us through Dick Woodland, and it's a vintage type of a little car ride that goes on, like a carnival ride that goes around on this little track, and it's a pretty cool little deal. Little cars and everything like that for kids, and we haven't gotten it put together yet because we want to be able to have it protected from the weather. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
one
that
of the
makes
things
sense.
that we'll do, and we have to get all the power situated for it, and everything for it. But it's a pretty cool little deal.
And so in the Woodlands display, so now you have a bunch of artifacts from Dick's, past
Right.
race cars and NASCAR and Indianapolis car. I mean, so tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, a lot of there are a lot of items in there that are just like special cars to him in some way or another, because he likes either the history of it or some connection to the family. There were a lot of those cars are actually that he drove or members of his family drove in competition. You know, these little midget racers, the dirt tracks, like the NASCAR type cars. It's not just a collection of cars, but there's a lot of his history, his family history that's a part of that, because he's a very well-renowned person in the racing industry. So we're really fortunate to have him as part of our display, because it draws a lot of people, and people aren't they don't either just like cars or just like aircraft. They like both quite often. But his display attracts a lot of attention, and it gets people in the door, and they see the rest of our museum as well. So we're really glad for that partnership that we have with him.
And that's another cool thing. I mean, we talk about a museum, but I mean, this is like, kids love cars.
Yeah.
Kids love planes, and you get the best of both worlds right there on the property at Estrella Warbirds Museum.
Sure.
So.
Well, and then you have the big kids, the dads bringing in their kids, and we go through the gift shop, and they have a lot of plastic models of aircraft and cars and things. So dads tend to, it kind of gives them a chance to, rekindle that idea. Well, I used to build models. I'll get my kid building models too. And so we try to reach out that way too, to provide good stuff in the gift shop, not just trinkets.
Right. And you guys do a lot of stuff out there. I mean, you guys do a lot of different events,
right?
A lot of, sponsorships, to where organizations can come in there and, host you guys are the facility that's not necessarily hosting, but you're the point for their ceremonies or event or whatever it may be.
Different companies will use it for like company picnics, like Firestone Walker, for instance. They're a huge supporter of our museum, and so that's where they like to have their a company dinner. We'll have car clubs, Porsche clubs, Corvette clubs, and motorcycle clubs will come in and use our area, or at least they'll come in for like a big lunch and then tour the museum, things like that. And then we'll have like the Wings and Wheels that combines a lot of classic cars that people will bring in, put on display, and then we'll also have aircraft out, at the same time. So there's a lot of different things that we reach out and kind of appeal to that way.
And you guys not only, I mean, so your Wings and Wheels is probably one of your bigger events.
Yes.
You also combine that with the swap meet as well?
Yes, we do. I'm not sure that the swap meet will be part of it next time, because what we're realizing that over the last year or so, that the cost of fuel, for instance, has been so much that, if we get somebody to come in from the valley, it costs a lot of money just to get all this stuff over. So we're still debating whether or not we're going to have the swap meet as part of the Wings and Wheels, but we'll still have the Wings and Wheels, and that's on that weekend of Mother's Day.
Okay. So what are a couple of your other bigger events that you guys have throughout the year?
We have we had our 30th anniversary gala auction and dinner. We just had that, and we're thinking about doing the same type of thing every year as a fundraiser. And part of it is for the West Side expansion, that we have the 10 acres on our west side that we want to build up into some hangars and exhibit halls. So we're going to kind of ramp up some of that type of thing. Most of the events that we have are generated by the outside coming in and having something like a taco fest that'll be coming up. Or next October we have the display of the Tunnels to Towers. Big, huge truck that has.
Oh, that's coming through?
So that's going to be coming through as well. So we're trying to open it up that way as well. And then we just partner with the different organizer. So we set such special rates for that day. And then we have better, good advertising that way as well. So we try to reach out and, kind of partner up with things that way as well.
Does Estrella Warbirds Museum, is there a restaurant or anything in the future that you guys can put up there?
That's a good point. And we have talked about that. That does, I mean, that in itself just kind of adds to the complexity of staffing or, something else to take care of. We do have catering facilities at our place, but we don't have an actual restaurant there. It probably would be kind of in competition with Joe's One Niner Diner, and I don't know that we could compete very well with.
Well, don't they close at night? They close at 2:00 or something, right?
Yeah, and we close at 4. So.
And you guys are open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
10 to 4.
10 to 4.
Right.
Well, like I said, I mean, I think it's just another destination of, you know, the North County and what the North County has to offer. And you guys have that, like I said, that interesting, the artifacts there, the vehicles there, just it's not anything that I envisioned when I thought of museum when I first, you know, without going there. And I'm thinking, of course, my kids, being my kids, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to break stuff. They're going to get into stuff. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm not going to have any fun. And it was a complete opposite. It was a complete opposite. They ran around. They were jumping on, you know, the vehicles. They were in the, like I said, the tanks. I was in the tanks. I mean, it was like a, you know, big kid playground, you know, and it was really cool to, you know, you can open up the hatches and climb through there, and it's pretty cool.
It's quite an experience when you can actually reach out and touch everything and not, I mean, there's some things you can't get inside some of the planes, but some of them you can.
Right.
We have some things that our youth program, for instance, is doing a restoration right now of the front section of a tanker, like an air tanker. So they're redoing that. So now they'll be able to, people can get inside, walk in and see what the cockpit would look like in a big plane like that.
Oh, wow.
And they also have just recently done a restoration kind of a project with a airplane where they stripped some of the wings, they stripped some of the sides off, they redid the engine on it so people can come and see what the inside of a wing looks like and see what the control cables would look like on an old plane. You know, so it doesn't represent a brand new plane, obviously, but it does give somebody an idea of what a lot of these planes look like, you know, with the skin off, you know, so it's pretty interesting.
Well, you know, it's funny that you said wings, and I don't know, I recently saw a post of the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know where that referenced from?
I think it had to do with the material on the wing or something like that, or
it had to do with the ammunition.
Oh yeah,
the ammunition belt inside the wing.
Right.
And you know, for years everybody's like, oh, and the whole 9 yards, and it's like, I saw that, I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to give you the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like,
well, it's like the expression something being balls out or balls to the wall.
Right.
Is because of the little control balls that control the pitch of the air, the propeller. And when it's going full speed, then those balls, the centrifugal force takes them all the way out. And
no
and so
kidding.
there's just, you know, little things like that do tie into the
aviation and stuff. Awesome. Well, John, how does people get a hold of you? How does people know more about it? How can people become involved with the Estrella Warbirds?
Probably the best way to get a hold of us is through our website at ewarbirds.org. And or they can come out to the museum we're at 4251 Dry Creek Road, which is on the southeast side of the airport in Paso Robles. And they can come out, check it out. And what we really like them to do is get excited about it so they want to volunteer, because there are a lot of volunteer positions, everything from docents to working on restoration of vehicles and aircraft to working with the youth program, anything. And there are just a lot of things that we can tailor something to their needs or their abilities so that they can help out. It's a great organization to be part of.
Awesome. And you've been along, how long?
I've been out there probably close to 20 years, I think, and been on the board once before, and I've been on the board now for 2 years. I'll have another year on the board at least, and I'll probably be on there much longer than that.
Awesome. Well, I know we talked about this before, but we might need to get out there and get on that simulator and
absolutely. Yeah.
See what that's all about, because I think that would definitely draw in some more attention of some fun stuff that's out there that you guys have.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you.
Awesome. John, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate the information. And again, you're always welcome to come back on and talk about some more events that you guys have coming.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to What's Up North County and talking with John Couch with Estrella Warbirds Museum. And as always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, which is Amber Johnson, Pillar Real Estate, Clint Amy with Rancho Cestero Meat Processing, Escalar Wines, 805 Customs, and Wine Hiders Hideaway Travelers. Wine Traveler Hideaway. One of those two, but that's what they are. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you again next time.